way of Jesus was the very essence of the Quaker movement, which he described as a spiritual community that encourages its members to live spirit-led lives of simplicity, integrity, equality, nonviolence, community involvement, and unity with nature. I was touched and inspired by this conversation. My new mentor also explained to me that there are three kinds of loving talked about in the Jewish and Christian scriptures that have always been important to Quakers. Loving the Spirit of God with all one's heart and strength, loving our neighbors, including our enemies, as ourselves, and loving and caring for God's good earth. This, he added, is the prophetic Jewish wisdom that Jesus taught and embodied in his own life and ministry. This is also the teaching of George Fox, one of the early English leaders of the Religious Society of France. As my new mentor showed me, these three forms of faithful loving were spelled out right on page 2 of Fox's journal. As someone raised by my dad to love wilderness and the natural world, I was particularly struck that as far back as the 1600s, Quakers were talking about loving the unity of creation. That's a direct quote from page 2. And urging people to avoid, quote, devouring the creation in violation of the covenant of life. And so then I go talk about actually reading the Bible and being shocked at the spiritual wisdom and the passion for social justice in Jesus. But I also talk about that in the time of early Friends, many people who were considered sort of Orthodox Christians denied that Friends were Christian. And so I sort of leave it kind of open. Well, it depends on what you define as Christianity. And I lay out some different things. And I have a story that I won't read, but about when I was 15 and living in DeKalb, I'm walking down the street, and a street evangelist comes up to me and hands me a brochure and goes, "Are you a Christian?"